All right, well, I ran out of space on my phone, so this is going to be part 2 of partsbreakers.com. 303-666-9020. This Jeep cj7. I don't know exactly where I lost it. Didn't see the message in time, but I'm sure I got the frame done on it, and then I might have got the doors and top, some of the stuff I was talking about. It's tilt steering column, 360 engine, Y-track axles. I believe these are 331s for a set of the Y-tracks here. Worn lockout hubs. We'll have to see if it's a one-piece on this 20 in the rear. It could be. We won't know until we pull that off. So that's kind of a nice upgrade if it is. Let's see, power brakes on it. So that's cool. It's a little rusty on the bottom there, but still usable for the brackets to convert over to those. That's kind of a hard thing to find sometimes. Power steering. Got all the bracket kit for a V8. Okay, so that's cool on it. The hood on this guy, I was going to make a video for guys, so I'll do it now. It's got a couple little scratches, dings on it, nothing major, but definitely a couple things on it. Grill looks to be good. Like I said, the frame is an A-. The tub I haven't really gone over. This tub is going to be really hard to see a good idea of what's going on with it until we get it fully pulled. There's clearly some body work in it, some Bondo that was done. It's hard to say, you know, if this was damaged or they, a lot of times when Jeeps were put out back in the day, they lathered these things up. People would take them straight to a body shop because they had a little bit of waves in them, the way that the stamped tubs came out. And so they would lather them up with a lot of Bondo and get them real nice and smooth and then drive them. And it lasted for a long time. So that could be this. I doubt it because there's quite a bit of it here. This is probably they had a ding or a dent. Somebody Bondoed it instead of fixing it the right way. So we'll see if we can figure out the extent of the damage here, because this is more than likely going to be replaced. There's a rust area that happens a lot in these. That could be all this is here too. Otherwise, they usually like to rust out down here. This all feels nice and good. Feels like there might be a little bit of material back here, so we'll have to look into this further as well. And then we have a little bit of rust on this lower lip here. You're starting to see it up through here. And this again, this looks like probably when they did kind of smooth that out. Okay, so definitely got some rust in it. I'll get it pulled. So if somebody, what we'll do is we'll price it based on what we think the condition's in. We'll get a deposit on it because these things sell very quickly, even one that's not in great shape, because they're usually more usable than what a lot of people have. And we'll get a deposit, usually about $500. Gets it on our pull list. We'll get it stripped down. We'll take a hot seat to it, which is like 5,000 PSI water. And we'll blow through basically any of the weak spots we can on it, and then really get a nice video that hopefully will show it as as it really sits. So this area here is actually solid. This is another area they love to rust right here. Okay, so the fact that this is solid might mean that this tub is actually more usable than it appears right now. So that's the benefit of buying these before dismantle, right? So like if we get this fully down and nobody's put a deposit on it, then we're going to price it accordingly at that point. If it comes back better than it was, what it looks like now, the price will be adjusted up. But if you go ahead and do a deposit on anything we sell and it's pre-dismantle, the price that we give you then, even if it comes back cleaner later, which happens a lot, is the price you get. So it is always better to take the chance. Now the $500 is refundable if it does come back worse than what we think, okay? And that's not something like we're flexible on that, meaning that if something comes back that I clearly did not show you and it's major, it's either we find you another one or we give you a refund on it. So there's very little risk on your part on that. So there is a little bit of rust in this pocket here. This is more than likely caused by this big old heavy duty body lift that they did on it. But this isn't as bad as I've seen, and there's not a lot here. There's a coating on it. We'll try to blow all this off so we can see if there's any rust behind these, because they do hide rust sometimes. The corner here, a little dinged up here, got a little bit of rust here. This is super common, not real concerned with that stuff. Again, we'll have to flip it over when we get it all pulled apart and see. Little seams here, surface here. The corner on this side is pretty clean. It's got the same kind of issues going on this side. Here's the major rust on this guy. Okay, so this here, now this is a nice area to fix because it's not super hard to access and it's all flat here. So, and then of course here. So right now I'm going to say this is a C grade tub, right? So C grade tubs on a cj7 C grade, usually it's about $1,500 for a 5. I usually price C grade tubs at 1,800, and that's probably where I'll stick on this one. I don't think this will be any higher than that. If it comes back worse, we can either adjust the price down if somebody does prepay a little bit. But if the floors are good on it, it's pretty easy to sell just the floors for that. So so anyway, without further ado, I think that pretty much sums it up. Okay, so you're definitely going to have some repair on this tub, and I wouldn't consider this minor repair. That's why I give it a C grade. Somebody on the East Coast might say it's minor compared to what they have, and that's kind of what we go for, what we're hoping for. But again, this area here is real solid on it, and I bet you when we get on the inside of it, it's going to be the same way. So that's actually nice seeing that, because this is a little bit more difficult to repair than something like this usually for body shops. This rocker guard here is actually in really good shape. It's got the same lathered up Bondo work on the bottom of it, so that tells me that might be a little bit more something from original when they pump this thing out. So okay, so that gives us the tub view. Hopefully that describes it. It's a little bit, oh, it's got a little bit of road rash. So yeah, I mean, they've wheeled in this Jeep pretty hard. So this tub is probably going to be in the $1,500 range. So if somebody wants to take a gamble on it and do the $500 deposit, we'll keep it at that, lock that price in. And if I pull it apart and it comes back cleaner, like I said, we adjust up from there. So all right, I think that does it. I appreciate all the time. I know we've spent 20 minutes of your life here, so if it wasn't the tub you were looking for, but check out the other part 1 video that I got cut off because my space ran out on my phone. So that goes over everything else on it. And then of course we have our interior stuff that we'll go over later once it gets pulled. So 303-666-9020, partsbreakers.com. Thanks a lot.